And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. We're back. Episode is late. This is episode 177, I believe. I will check. I will proceed to check. Oh, you're looking at my email right now. Oh, God. StubHub just emailed me. I don't know why it's not in the promotions email, but there you go. Oh, you're looking at all the news time I just wrote and shot. The easy way for this would be for me just to go to website cpluscomedy.com where I can see all the back episodes. If you ever want to listen to back episodes of this show, head on over there. I don't know why you would. A lot of racist stuff. I'm joking. There's no racist things. But I don't know why you would want to listen to that past episodes of this show. The show only gets better. He says as he adjusts everything. Late episode. Quite frankly, well, what was Thursday? Thursday, I saw my therapist, and usually I record after my Thursday sessions. But I just didn't do that. And then Friday I couldn't record. I wanted to. This is episode 177. So let's get on to it. I got some stuff to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Hey, if you can't sing old songs by yourself, then what can you do? What's going on here? Oh, I'm wearing a Peloton shirt. I had the Peloton app during the pandemic. I still have it, even though I am now going back to the regular gym. But I had the Peloton app. I still have the Peloton app. And I did 100 workouts, and they're like, they send you a Century Club shirt. I guess they do this to everybody, but they send you a shirt that says, "Hey, you did 100 workouts, Century Club," right here on the sleeve. And then I moved, so I got the notification that I was going to get the Century Club T-shirt in, I want to say May. April or May, because I had the app in April, and then 3 months of free. But anyway, so I had it so let's say I got the Century Club notification in May, and they're going to send me a free shirt. Obviously, things are going to be slow because of the pandemic. So I assumed, I'll get it late May, June, then it became July, and I was about to move. And, the short of it is I moved, and they said they sent it out, but they couldn't. This is prior to me moving. They said they sent it out, but I got a notification that it was sent, and then I guess USPS couldn't deliver it for some reason, even though they deliver everything else. And that's why we got to take away USPS. I'm joking. But then I put in my new address, and I said, "Please send it here," and they're like, "Okay." And that was in late July. So at that point, I knew I was going to move. I said, "You know what? Just send it to this new address." And then I forgot about it, quite frankly, well into September. And then maybe 2 weeks ago, I thought about, I should check in on that, because I even had to call them. I had to email them, and they got back to me and said, "Oh yeah, we'll get that handled for you." And then probably a week ago, I get an Amazon order from stuff I already ordered. And so I get these these couple of boxes, and I pull them in, and it's nighttime at this point. And the guys, the drivers already dropped the stuff off. I crack open my stuff. I go, "Great, look at all the stuff I got. I knew I ordered this a couple of days ago." And then I get another email that says, "Hey, we dropped off a package at your front door." And I went, No, I have all my packages." So right now it's probably about 9:00, maybe 9:30. I open the door, and then this just black package just falls. It was on the ground. It was on the ground, propped up, and then it just falls. And I go, "What is this?" And I don't know what it is. I look at the email. The delivery driver has taken a picture of the email of the package against my front door. And I go, "What is going on?" So I rip it open, and I go, "Oh my God, I forgot." And it was just this well-fitting shirt from Peloton. I want another one. I want to buy more Peloton apparel, but those shirts cost $48, and I'm not doing that. So here we are. God, the microphone almost fell. This is a very strange setup. I'm still trying to figure this out, even though I'm several episodes into living at this apartment. Let's get on with this. Spotify releases first weekly charts. This comes from Variety, written by Jim Oswald. Spotify has announced the debut of its weekly music charts, which includes an albums chart, a new move for the streaming giant. According to the announcement, the new charts include the weekly top 50, which will celebrate the biggest albums and tracks in the world each week, Friday through Thursday, consisting of U.S. Weekly Album Chart, Global Weekly Album Chart, U.S. Weekly Song Chart, and Global Weekly Song Chart, published every Monday. And the U.S. Top 10 Debuts and Global Top 10 Debuts lists capture the biggest new releases on Spotify, Friday through Sunday. These living lists incorporate data from the first 72 hours of a song or album is live, giving an early take on new music. So this is a lot of the stuff that Billboard does, but on a smaller, more granular scale, and only for a single platform. Now this is big news for music because Spotify is the biggest streaming platform, and as I said before, that Billboard only offers this for everything. It's an encompassing thing, but Spotify and Apple, and even to some extent YouTube Music, they offer their own charts, and whether they're as detailed as they should be or are, then they are. So I have, oh God, please don't start playing music. Okay, so I'm looking at YouTube's chart right now, and they do have a section for charts, YouTube Music, and again, this will dig into the YouTube chart, but the top artists are already there. So this is like the people listening to the stuff on YouTube Music and YouTube. They have the top 50 pop music videos. They have all the music videos for every genre, what's trending right now. And again, this works for YouTube. But if I go to Spotify, which I have downloaded here in my entertainment folder, I don't know if they have this stuff on the free version. But it works in the exact, more or less the exact same way. It'll show you what's listened to and what's not. But I think this is a good move for them to in order to just show people what everybody's listening to. I mean, it's free. Everything's on a granular scale, and it's the things that if you're listening to the new Bieber album, you're probably going to enjoy something like this. And I listened to the new Bieber album, so I'm probably going to enjoy seeing what the pop world has for me. That being said, a lot of the modern stuff is not in my purview, but whatever. Charts, get them. Charts, get them. All right. Good job, Chad. Moving on. Amazon, speaking of charts, Amazon expands Thursday night football coverage. This comes from Variety, written by Todd Spangler, my good friend. Amazon expands NFL Thursday night football content on Prime Video and Twitch. So Amazon has, and I did an episode of News Time. Last week's episode of News Time is about Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football. To some extent, Saturday. That used to be a thing last season, but they're not doing that right now because of the pandemic. Because they can't fly to different countries. However, what is that just wiped off my desk? That's gross. Ew, I don't know what that is. Okay. I don't know why I did that. So Thursday Night Football is essentially brand new. It started in 2016 alongside Sunday Night Football. And it skipped a season. But it started in 2016 as a way just to have football on the minds throughout the week. So Monday Night Football is the oldest one, which I did not know. I thought Sunday Night was the oldest one. But Monday Night Football is the oldest version of football. It's been on ABC for 70 years or 50 years, one of those. And it's interesting because I would think it's probably the least watched, but it's also ABC's only football. It's their only football, whereas NBC, Fox, and CBS all air football throughout the season. NBC has Sunday Night Football, and now Thursday Night Football is it was on Fox, and then it was on different networks, NFL Network, then Fox, but now it's being shared between Fox, NFL Network, and Amazon Prime. Because I don't really know the answer to this. I think it was because it's the bastard stepchild to to Monday Night Football. Like, no one's thinking about football on Thursday night. I don't know. It just doesn't do well ratings wise. But Amazon has a more aggressive game plan to drive viewers to Thursday Night Football streaming for the 2020 season, adding several new features and shoulder programming is what they're calling it, for the NFL games available on both Prime Video and Twitch. So they're expanding this not just because I think if you don't have a Prime Video account or a Prime account, which entails you to a Prime Video account, then you can still watch Thursday Night Football, but don't quote me on that. I think that's wrong. But if you have Prime Video, you can watch Thursday Night Football. And if you have Prime Video, then that means you probably have Amazon Prime, which means you also have Twitch Prime, which they're now expanding more into the sports league because they do have esports and you can watch people play stuff on Twitch, but now they're going to expand it to be like this kind of multi-hyphenate live streamer, where you can also watch football. And I think this is a wonderful move because Twitch, while it does have this while it does have this niche audience of gamers, people also go there to watch cooking things and to watch lifestyle videos. It's everything. It's a better live streamer than YouTube is. And that is why Twitch excels at what it does, but it doesn't excel at pre-uploaded video. Okay. So this is the fourth year that Amazon has had Thursday Night Football. Remember the first year? I remember the first year. They had like 2 games. And then the second year, they had like 4 games. But now they basically have almost all the games. The deal the Amazon exclusive deal has not been set yet. And their package, they have a 3-year extension that goes until 2022, scoring additional single exclusive late season NFL game for each season. Probably like the ones that have been pushed back. But now, thanks to Amazon and Twitch, you're going to be able to have things like multiple announcer feeds. So if you want to watch Hannah Storm and Andrea Kremer do the Thursday night games, be your guest. But also, you can listen to the default Joe Buck and Troy Aikman game. The new this year is Scouts Feed, which features podcasters and former NFL scouts Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah, alongside sports podcast, radio, and TV show host Joy Taylor. So there you go. And then also you have the Fox Deportes. So that's so cool. So that's about 5 different ways to listen to the games on Twitch as well as Amazon. And then Endgame on-demand replays on Prime Video. So that's going to be a new thing. Oh, that's kind of like YouTube TV. If you have a YouTube TV and you're watching sports on there, and you say your team is Dallas Mavericks or the Cowboys, and you want to rewatch, I just named my 2 teams, and you want to rewatch a play that just happened, or you're getting into the game late and you're going to catch up, you click on the game, and then it says join live or catch up using key plays, and that's how you can do that. And it shows you just like the key plays of the game, and it's really good. I think it does a really good job. It's slow though. NFL Next moves to Tuesdays, launched late last year as a pregame show. Amazon's NFL Next returns this year to Prime Video as a live and on-demand show that premieres Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Kay Adams. Oh, the lovely Kay Adams. Chris Long and James Coe all host that show, and along with Andrew Hawkins. And then new NFL shows on Twitch. There's going to be NFL shows on Twitch. Cool. Interesting. So they have the full lineup. Whoa. Then there's also exclusive Saturday games. There you go. There's a Friday game. I think that was pushed. That's Christmas Day. And I think that might have been pushed because that was a game that was at the beginning of the season, but now it's pushed because of the COVID stuff. Any Hoosers, this is great. I think Amazon's doing a wonderful job. This is a good way. Sports have been missing from streaming in a tangible way. And so Amazon is getting their foot in the door, as well as NBC's Peacock with the Premier League and soccer stuff. So I say all the power to you. Listen, we're going to go to the break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about whatever's going on here. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the show. Just took a big old sip of a lukewarm San Pellegrino. No, excuse me. Yes. San Pellegrino. Oh yeah, I love it when the lukewarm bubbles go down my throat. Excuse me? Pause? That's the first time I've ever used that type of slang. Did it work? No? All right, move on. I was talking to a friend on the phone, and we both like, on FaceTime, and we both like Desus and Miro. And I started talking like Desus and Miro, and obviously I'm not as cool or slick as them. I can't say words like ma. Like, yo, ma, what up, girl? How you doing? I can't do that. Like, obviously I can't do that. I'm looking at the tripod right now, and it is very crooked. I hope the video is fine. If not, I won't fix it in post. Let's go on. Oh, this is a big story. I'm really trying to. I should not have had sparkling water over here because it's really coming back to bite me in the butt. This comes from Variety. Are these all from Variety? Oh, I know what I was doing last week. This is me on a Thursday trying to find stories. That might be the reason why I never recorded this show. This comes from Variety, written by Naman Ramachandran and Minori Ravadran. Regal Cineworld, I really do apologize if I mispronounced those names, and I think I did. Regal Cineworld confirms temporary suspension of U.S.-UK operations. I also before I move along with this, there was an episode of the Journal from Wall Street Journal, their podcast, their Friday episode, basically covered this, and they talked to the head of Regal Cinemas. And what happened last week is Regal Cinemas is the second largest proprietor of movie theater chain in the world, right under AMC. And they decided to close up shop until 2021 after No Time to Die was pushed back. So Tenet failed. And then, I mean, it performed well. Well, actually, the first box office for War with Grandpa outperformed Tenet. But Tenet didn't do so well, given the world, what's happening in the world right now. And No Time to Die was pushed back, and then Warner also pushed back other Warner properties, including Dune and Wonder Woman 1984. Disney is dropping Soul on Disney Plus, which sucks because I want to see that movie. It's the first movie starring a person of color from Pixar, besides Coco. I wonder if it's directed by a white guy, just like Coco was. You know, that's one of my biggest problems with Pixar and Disney is that I don't care if there's a brain trust. I don't care if there's, if it's, 7 people that handle everything. When you have people of color starring in the movie or making the movie, as is the case of Coco, let's get them. Let's not get them as co-directors. Let's get them as regular directors. I don't care if Lee Unkrich is in charge. That being said, Pixar, I got ideas for you, baby. Okay. In a statement released Monday, the group said in response to increasingly challenging theatrical landscape and sustained key market closures due to COVID-19 pandemic. Listen, it's the coronavirus pandemic. Cineworld confirms that it will be temporarily suspending operations at all of its 536 Regal theaters in the United States and its 127 Cineworld and Picture House theaters in the UK from Thursday, October 8th, 2020. The group attributed the closure to the pipeline of studio films drying up as major U.S. markets, especially New York, remain closed. Now, the CEO of Regal and Cineworld did mention profusely over and over again that the problem was the markets like New York closing up. They can do, without, smaller things like, I don't know, Idaho or something. But New York has a huge population density, and those people are going to go see movies. I could probably say the same thing as Chicago, New York, Atlanta, where the players play. And and it's tough for them to have 45,000 employees, working when the only movies in theaters are Shrek, movies that were released, Shrek and Frozen and other small things. A little off topic. Tenet is at my local drive-in theater, and I believe it's leaving this weekend. And I have yet to find somebody to go with me to see this godforsaken movie, and I just want to see it. I've been asking people, you want to go to this drive-in theater with me? All you got to do is sit in the car and watch a movie. Everybody's got an excuse. I don't want to go to it's in a couple of theaters near me, within walking distance, one within walking distance of my job. And I refuse to go see this movie in the theater because we're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. So like I said, 45,000 employees are going to be affected. But would you, and I'll posit it like this. Excuse me, I have a big vocabulary. Would you rather have a bunch of theaters closed down or tough it out? I mean, would you rather have a bunch of theaters closed down because you're trying to tough it out, like AMC, or would you rather just shut operations, furlough everybody, and then wait until next year? That is what the Broadway is doing. That's what the opera is doing. That's what music is doing. And yeah, it's going to suck. But those theaters that are closed because you closed them are going to open next year. Sources told Variety that over the weekend that the chain hasn't yet set a reopening date, but could open back up only in 2021. If Wonder Woman 1984 releases in December, maybe they could open back up again. There's no indication. There's no solving this. The pandemic's going to go on. And I got an alert today from, I think, the New York Times or the Washington Post that said next year there could be a bunch of vaccinations, but they could only be so-so vaccinations. And we don't know which one works and which one doesn't, which ones don't. And yeah, that's true. And, at some point, there's no solution to this except wait. And it's a shame that movie theaters have to go this way. And I think this is why I think I mentioned last episode about the all the famous people, directors and actors and producers signing a letter to Congress to get the government to save movie theaters. Because if those go, then everything goes to streaming. And if you can only do so much on streaming. Netflix will cancel a show like Glow because they can't shoot this season in the pandemic. Showtime will cancel, not a streaming show, but Showtime will cancel On Being a God in Florida, wherever the heck it's called, with Kirsten Dunst, because they can't shoot it. And these shows are good, and they get accolades. They get accolade, and yet these networks and these streaming platforms have to cancel these things. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. But then, movies move to streaming, and then I was thinking about this last night too. This is so strange. Movies move to streaming, and then, they only make so much or get so many views on streaming. But then, Netflix and Disney say, well, this movie performed like this, and we gave them this budget. What if we gave them less of a budget? Would it still perform just as well, or just as poorly? And I'm kind of cutting this up, but I think that's how they kind of see it sometimes. They'll see, oh, okay, we can make this rom-com, Love Guaranteed, a movie that's still sitting in my Netflix queue because I just don't want to watch it. But I love Damon Wayans Jr. and Rachel E. Cook. That's her name. But they can see a movie can be made for $2 million and shot in 13 days, and then they'll just go along with that. I don't know if that's the numbers of this show or the movie, but I'll tell you what: if News Time had that much money, $2 million, ooh, I can make a whole good series. Okay. This last thing comes from Variety, of course, written by Brent Lang. Comedy powerhouse, The Second City is for sale. So on top of having a bunch of improv comedy, having UCB leave New York and focus only on the mobile versions of UCB as well as the LA theaters. Chicago IO having not being canceled. The owner of Chicago IO closing up shop, and then Second City having that guy was canceled. I believe that was it. Right? Let me see. I don't remember. I did an episode of Second City. I did an episode of News Time. Andrew, his name is the Andrew Alexander. He resigned because of some stuff, but now it's up for sale. Owning an improv theater in the time of the pandemic is one of the most difficult things in the industry, guaranteed. And it's so specific because improv theaters, especially for-profit theaters, have a difficult time of running in the first place. Now, I did an interview with a couple of the heads of Dad's Garage here in Atlanta, and I urge you to go watch that interview over there on youtube.com/cpluscomedy or on cpluscomedy.com. Just type in Dad's Garage, and I'm sure you'll find it. But John and Laura over there were talking about, and I mentioned it because the UCB shutting down in New York happened like a week prior to me sitting down with them and talking about it. And they give some really good insight on how to relaunch a improv theater back during a pandemic. And they're not for profit. They're a non-profit theater. Good at what they do, too. The announcement comes as not COVID-19. COVID-19 is the disease. The coronavirus pandemic has upended the live events business that helped define and popularize the Second City. Talking about the alum for a second. The brand expanded beyond the theatrical stage in Chicago, where it first launched as a scrappy upstart in recent years. The company has moved to consumer and corporate education and has invested heavily with online courses. Of course, there's the Andrew Alexander stuff. This is a non-story at this point, but you need these different schools of improv theater thought, because there's different ways to do improv. There's no one way to do improv. There's no one, superior way. Chicago IO had its way. UCB has Del Close's way. Second City has their way. And then there's also the other ones that are all around the world. I don't know who could buy this. UCB is owned by four, if you're a comedy fan, big comedy names, and then one A-lister, and then Matt Walsh and Ian Roberts and Matt Besser. They're not A-listers, but Amy Poehler is. But even then, they can only put so much money and time and effort into this thing, and they, were Matt in particular, Matt Besser, giving it his all. And now they're taking their step back from UCB. So, Chicago IO, you could either go the way of Chicago IO and close up shop, or go the way of UCB. And I'm not saying their way is right, but restructuring. And Second City at this point, they're not shuttering, and they have so many famous alum that it could probably be sustained, if everybody gave a certain amount. But they have to have the figureheads who can take care of it. And at this point, I think it's going to have to be someone who is bigger, because obviously, somebody like Stephen Colbert and Tina Fey, they can't be the ones. Steve Carell, they can't be the ones to own it, because they're busy doing their own thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Listen, I gotta go. I'm hungry and I'm tired. So if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see other things. Favorite comedians talking to me. You can also, I just talked to director Tim Hill from SpongeBob and War with Grandpa fame. So check that out one. Jesus. If you want to see a video version of this podcast, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. It's pretty fun. Just see me sitting here wearing my Peloton shirt. And what else? Also on youtube.com/comedies, our premiere show, News Time, which is a weekly news show where I dissect something in the entertainment business world, the business entertainment business world. This week's episode, or last week's episode rather, was about, I just said it at the top of the freaking thing. Oh my God. What is wrong with me? It's about Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Talking about all that good stuff and why they exist. Subscribe. You know what? Social media, C Plus Comedy, me on social media, Chad Black White. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast. Rate, review, and subscribe. Excuse me. To the Constitutionals podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And I am gone. Goodbye.